Hey there guys, Reckon here, and welcome back to Let's Read Katawa Shoujo. I don't remember what happened in the last episode, as it has been a few days since I've recorded, even though I really need to get some videos recorded. Since I really have time to record them since I have no internet, but I'm lazy as all hell, so yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, I mean, by the time this gets up, I'll have internet back anyway, obviously, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm very lazy. Very lazy. Let's go. Maybe shakes her head, looking amused. I'm not sure if she's joking or not. She has these weird ideas about a lot of stuff. Things just make sense to her in a totally different way than they do to me. Can't even remember all the weird stuff she talked about over all this time. I feel I'm gonna be messing up a lot of words, and I don't know why. It's not like I'm tired or anything. I just recorded an hour-long thing that'll be up at some point if I deem it good enough. I don't think Ren does either, really. She's the type who would forget her own head if it wasn't attached to her shoulders. That's why I just can't leave her alone. Is that weird? She leans against the wall, managing to look distraught, yet still cheerful as always. I get a strange feeling about it, as though I was talking to two people at the same time. How would I know? Everyone's weird in some way. If that's yours, it's a very nice way. At least I can understand what you're talking about, unlike Ren. Most of the time, I have no idea what's going on inside her head either. Maybe giggles, nodding in agreement. I think it's okay even if you don't understand her. That's how she usually is. Emmy stands up straighter, brushing the hem of her skirt and straightening the waistline. She laughs awkwardly. Well, we ended up talking pretty seriously. What's up with you, Hisao? Why'd you bring this up? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get into this sort of discussion either. I don't know. I've had this weird feeling lately about Ren. I don't know why. I feel a bit guilty bringing up something like this for no reason except my own anxiety. It'll be fine, don't worry about it. Suddenly, Emmy clutches my wrist and twists so she can see what time it is for my watch. Oh damn, this late already? I should really go to this meeting with the rest of the track team at the field. It's not going to be fun in this heat. We're going to sweat like pigs, but I promise I'd be there. Bye-bye! She skips downstairs, leaving me wondering if what I said, or what Ren said, rather hurt her or not. Maybe what Emmy herself said hurt her the most, come to that. So in the end, even the person closest to Ren is just as far apart from her as everyone else. Wonder if Ren herself ever feels that distance. I felt like I was drifting away from the world too during my hospitalization. I felt anxious and depressed, and even now I sometimes still do, but I fight against it with all I've got. If Ren has been on that side of the divide for her whole life, I can't imagine how she can not be lonely, but perhaps she's truly different. I refuse to belong to that other place, but maybe she's found comfort there. Like Emmy, I have a club meeting of my own, so I head straight to the art club room at the end of the hallway. Only a few members are present today, so the mood's even more laid back than usual. Ren is off working on her exhibition project, but I wonder if the rest are simply just playing hooky, defeated by the heat. I half-assedly sketch something with a piece of graphite, but I do a poor job of it. My fingertips are turning black from holding the graphite and smudging it on the paper, accidentally and on purpose. I've improved a little, but Ren's level is still far beyond my reach. Eventually Namiya comes in and makes his way around the room, checking on what we're doing and giving comments on the works in progress. He stops behind me and bends closer to look at my poor sketch. Tried to take a few pointers from Tsuka, have you? Well, I've looked at how she draws, but I haven't exactly asked for advice, no. Let's see here. He casually picks up a piece of graphite from my hand and lightly draws some faint, barely visible lines over the sketch to illustrate places that need improvement. I already feel frustrated about not seeing the obvious flaws before, but with a couple of careless-seeming flicks of the wrist, Nami has made them plain as day. Straightening up, he throws a sideways glance at the seat where Ren usually sits. Such a nostalgic feeling, almost like a bird flying from the nest. The nest. Oh, I miss Tezuka when she graduated. It begins from here, you know. Nearly makes my eyes a little misty. You really think she has a chance to make her big break with the exhibition? Namiya turns, looks up from my sketch, adjusting his glasses. He rubs his chin, looking contemplative. Why not? It's not like she's going to be an overnight smash hit or anything, but getting the word out is very important. Connections are pure gold, maybe the most important thing to gain if she's to become an artist. Word of mouth is very powerful in these circles. She has some advantages, like her young age and technique. You know, the feat. People will not be naturally curious about extraordinary things like that. His words have an unpleasant ring to them. Isn't that just exploiting her disability to make her more popular? Sounds fishy. Ah, no, it's not like that at all. Think of it from another perspective, like an artist. Would you rather have Tezuka hide herself completely from public view as if her condition were something shameful? Some people would call it exploitation if we promote that aspect, or discrimination if we hide it. All things considered, we're just being honest about it. There's nothing wrong with that, right, my boy? I guess so. Brilliant! It's true that disability always has all sorts of implications in society, often nasty ones, but brushing things under the carpet won't help at all. I'm sure Sei will handle her side of the issue with delicacy. I've noticed since art school, and she's most reliable. Why is she going so far for Ren's sake? Because it's who you asked? Oh, she has her own reasons too. Trust this old man. She's more kind-hearted than she looks. Ah, but don't let her know I said that. He gives me a big wink and covers his mouth with his hand as if to push the remark back in. I remember the curious way Miss Saionji looked at Ren almost the entire time during our visit to the gallery. It was like that woman was trying to imprint everything about her into a memory. Or maybe it was that Ren reminded her of someone else. Something else. Mostly Sei simply adores young people with a passion for art. Her gallery specializes in this very thing, bringing up-and-coming talent to the public. It's a perfect fit for someone like Tezuka. I don't even know if she really wants to become a career artist, though, but I guess that'd be the logical next step. I don't have the faintest idea. Like they say, a teacher can only show the door, but it's the student who has to walk through it. An old, tired saying, but still quite true. He leaves to chat with a pair of second-year girls working on some watercolors. Even though he said that cliched thing, it feels to me like Nami is trying to prod Ren through a certain door in particular, but I can't blame him for that. I'd literally shoved Ren towards that door with my speeches about wasting opportunities and whatnot. Nami feels like it's time for him to let Ren test her own wings. He has absolute confidence in this endeavor. I wonder why I can't shut the anxious feeling I have inside me. It shouldn't have anything to do with me. Maybe I'm just bothered by exactly that. I really don't have any part in this. I would like to be a part of Ren's life and her a part of mine. Like friends should be. That's what she called us. Wonder what she really meant. I feel like I'm so far apart from her even when I'm not. It's the same as with Ren and Emmy. I can't understand her. What am I to her? Or for her? I don't think this choice actually really matters and influences... Actually. Damn, it's been so long that I don't even know if we've hit that decision yet. Still, I don't think this one matters. Well. In the end, even though we made friends with each other, I don't really feel that we've gotten any closer. How can I call someone my friend if I can't understand her? Nami's boisterous laugh fills the quiet afternoon just as the club meeting ends. He pats one of the girls on the back encouragingly. I think about all the things that have led me to this point, all the things I've shared with Ren during the few weeks I've been at Yamaku so far. I understand so very little in the end, but I'm sure of one thing. If I want to keep going with what I have with Ren, I have to throw myself into whatever will come out of this exhibition project along with her. I turned my gaze back at the black mess of a sketch and the near invisible guiding lines the teacher drew over it. No pattern emerges, nothing that could take me further than I am. I put the graphite down on the table and think hard and honestly about what I really want. Nothing really safe between that. The next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour, starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yamaku at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Nami gave us in his car. I slowly read the book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair sized, but not too large, and it seems too quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I found myself staring at the big letter saying 22nd Corner. Inside, the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me, and a smile of recognition spreads on her lips. Now, it's a good thing I don't remember what voice I gave her. It's See, this is why I need to have less than a 4-day gap between recordings. But I'm lazy. Oh, aren't you the young man from the other day? Shinichi's student. Hisao, was it? Think that was it. Probably isn't. That's right. Good afternoon, Miss Ayanji. Please, just say. I don't want to feel any older than I am. You know, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just on a courtesy visit all the way from your school. I actually came for Ren. I was hoping to see how she's doing. Oh, is that right? Well, then you need to step back outside. You see, the outlet... You know, it would be nice if I had some way to, you know, pronounce things properly, or at least know what the pronunciation of this word is. But again, I come from a crappy high school that doesn't teach it words properly. Shenanigans. You see, it's atelier. That sounds wrong. It does. Art words. Damn it. The apartment thing is actually at the next door on the right, down the street, up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there. You can't miss it. I give Sei my thanks, exit the gallery, and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to a dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only 5 floors, my breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. An unassuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. How many times am I going to use this damn word? The apartment is really just one big room with the ceiling lower at one end than the other because the roof of the building is gabled. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration, no surprise since the room seems to have been used as storage for a while. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been used for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean it up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Ren stands in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third-hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and are covered in paint splatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in places, I'm guessing that they weren't originally Ren's. Hi. Hello. Ren doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling, anything. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing, probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. This is a pretty cool place. Big, too. It is. Sei said I can use it as much as I like. I even have my own key. So how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. As a cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight, the change in Ren's surroundings seems to wake her up. I don't know. It's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. It's the hugest thing ever. Like a mountain growing inside of me. Like I swallowed a mountain whole. It's going to be hard, I think. Really very hard. I try to listen for undercurrents of stress or uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that. Why are you here? Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question would make it seem. Well, you said that it'd be fine if I came to visit, so here I am. Guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company or assistance or maybe some... Hisao. Could you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterward. Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've ever heard from her before. There's no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. All right. With the silence that falls, anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Ren's back as my mind races. I don't think I've ever studied someone's back so intently before. Her neck, hidden by her copper-colored hair, which is, again, in complete disarray. That relaxed yet rigid posture reminding me that Ren's physical appearance often tends to be awkward as her various trends of thought. those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt, the contours of her hips curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. Rarely does she ever seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively. I, on the other hand, am always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she is painting, whenever something catches her flittery attention, whenever I don't forcibly make her listen to me, I can't reach through to her. Ren's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on a map. The edge of the world? If it went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof and distant, and it annoys me. At other times, her passion for the things she thinks worthwhile shines through and it inspires me. I can't understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friend. I suppose part of friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people you call friends. I have to admit, there's a lot of putting up with Ren. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week I thought that she might have liked me romantically, what with the kiss and all. It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week I'm utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't make sense of even my own thoughts anymore. It must be contagious. Even if I said a thing like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Ren. Nothing. I'm done. I find her turned around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what we, or rather I, were talking about before she requested a timeout. Oh, right, I just came to... I don't know. You still can't finish your sentences? It's not that. Fine. She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I wanted to talk about some stuff. I've thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why, I have no clue. It's not a game she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Ren feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. I feel attracted to it, compelled to solve it, the overly rational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could be this obsessive about something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I've already decided what I want to say. Ren. Saying her name with an intention like this makes my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Ren looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them, as there isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare of her dark green eyes seems like a portent. I like you. The lack of any reaction is like a slap to the face. So, I mean, I'd like to like you as more than a friend. What is more? The slow, hesitant words coming from her strawberry-colored lips are not the ones I was waiting for. Neither of the two possible answers that I'd been expecting, actually. I feel myself blushing heavily, as is par for the course in this kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. Ren's faux innocent inquiry feels like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like, romantically and... No. Ren turns around, giving me the cold shoulder as she returns to her painting. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing now. So, don't talk about that kind of thing, please. We're friends, right? So you can do that. The silence those words leave behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Ren finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Maybe there was something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholically as her foot forks the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. It's like I've opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Ren didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor to the door leading to the stairwell. Ren's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door. Hisao. My hand still on the brass doorknob is waiting for me to turn it or withdraw. Yeah? Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. Not a bad scene. But then again, you don't need me to tell you that. It's not a bad scene. It's open to interpretation, of course. so interpret it how you wish. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to teachers mechanically, and thus when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I'd just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time, and I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I've gotten myself into. This song's Breathlessly, isn't it? Yes, it is. I listen to the soundtrack too much. Then again, this is one of 2 songs I've actually tried learning how to play. I haven't gotten very far with this one because I'm bad at musical instruments. Even though piano is like the one I'm best at, I'm still bad at it. Anyway, I spend the bus trip downtown staring at the windows, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the atelier 4 floors above Say's gallery, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Ren at the center of the small, clear area in the room, working on a painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. Hi, I came, as promised. Ren snaps her head in my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? And locks that cold green gaze of hers on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feelings, Ren's expression is as expectant and neutral as always. The clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It is the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Yesterday, both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I want to say something, but Ren forbade me from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the thing I most want to say. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I've completely lost the ability to speak with her. Just keep working if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Ren nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink in a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, in the same room even. And yet, we're both off doing our own thing as if we were miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as I recall the previous silences I've quietly passed with Ren, I settle down and try to tune into that same comfortable mood I was in back then. Time stretches, then slows down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour, or 1 hour at most, Ren breaks the silence, to my complete surprise. Hisao. Yeah? Are you my friend? It's an echo of yesterday, I know it, so even Ren couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard, I answer honestly. Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that. Come on. Okay. She doesn't say anything further. I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see that Ren's made considerable progress in our painting. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. Looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus, taking me back to school. It's another scene down. Just speed running this, but not even. Ooh. Life settles into some sort of vague, undefined norm. I visit Ren whenever I can, but each time is as strange as the first. They consist mainly of me watching Ren at work or just reading a book on the couch while she works. We barely talk at all. Long, quiet evenings stretch over the last weeks of June. I sit on the couch in the atelier. We'll go with that. Listening to the quiet rustle of Ren's brush and my own heartbeat, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the latter. I am a silent visitor in this place, a ghost. At some point I start thinking my presence is meaningful to Ren somehow, but never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore either, and try to stop thinking about it altogether. It's hard to do so and doesn't get any easier with the passage of time. My heart aches every time I look at the awkward figure of the girl I decided I liked, yet who refuses to acknowledge it. I I still can't seem to find the right words to talk to her about anything at all, but I find quiet solace in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge when I can be close to her, even if it's like this. Ren works like a demon. There's barely a moment when she's without a brush between her toes, or walking in circles around her current work in progress, estimating it from every angle and distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her will to work, to change herself into that sort of artist you believe would be worthy of the trust Nami and Sei have placed in her. Piles of sketches, works in progress, tubes of oil paint, and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small atelier, making it even messier than it was before Ren acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind the room is not utter chaos, rather her system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate only Ren herself can make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, from the tiniest brush to that half-empty tube of crimson that's a perfect shade for some picture in progress. Ren walks from one painting to another, looking at them as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself, or to the paintings, even when I'm present, always just quietly enough that I can't make out the words. Every day, Ren pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability and even her soul to make good on that promise she made to me, or herself. Black marks appear beneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's been skipping sleep in favor of painting. I'm somewhat surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello, though, as I somehow feel it would break the silent magic of the evenings we share at the atelier. Sometimes Sei comes by when I'm there. She gives me a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like that I'm always hanging out with Ren up here. She never says a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Ren's work as Namiya, but is visibly impressed nevertheless. However, when she turns her eyes from the wonderful works of art to look upon the little red-headed girl that made them, a sudden deep sadness folds onto the surface of her expression. I can't explain it. She never talks about it. June turns into July almost without warning. End-of-term exams loom dangerously close, but all I can think of is Ren. I feel like a sleepwalker at school, looking forward to only the next time I get to visit that silent place above Sei's gallery. After Ren refuses my attempts at directly helping with the work, I try to figure out other ways to help her. It finally dawns on me that she isn't eating properly. My course of action decided, I stop at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. I feel very energetic as I open the door to the atelier and greet Ren. I brought you some fruit. You need vitamins and actual food after all. Do you even eat up here? I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint. Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake the bag full of ripe oranges in my hand and employ to tempt Ren into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I'd bought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks into the bag. I can't eat oranges, Hisao. It does not work very well with feet. That's alright, I'll do it. Of course I knew that, she told me herself after all. I extract the tiny fruit knife I had with me and select one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I begin to peel it with my fingers. The strong scent of cut orange rind immediately fills the air as thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I remove the first section of the hard peel and shoot a glance at Ren. So, how's the work going? I don't know. I feel like I'm in the center of some huge mountain of jelly and have to dig my way out. Must be stressful. I think it might be. Even though it's just painting all this, everything feels really strange. I wonder if Ren is the kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white fibrous stuff from the oranges before eating them, or the more careless type who just eats them all as they come. Maybe neither. I'm the former type, so I meticulously clean the orange slices one by one while Ren watches the process with mild curiosity. I realize that I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislikes, or any of the other little details that make up the concept of a person for those around them. It's like in all this time, I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I finish lamenting that fact, I realize I've cleaned the entire orange and nearly split it into slices. Neatly split it into slices. I hold the slice up, bringing it closer to Ren so she can pick it up. Here. She takes it directly between her lips and then into her mouth whole. Her lower lip briefly brushes against my fingertip. Ren chews the slice carefully, savoring it as much as possible. I become fixated on the movements of her jaw, the trickle of juice glistening on her lip, the way her throat moves when she swallows the orange slice. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently. It's not the same as it usually is. The orange? Painting. Oh, well, is anything like that ever the same? It is sometimes, I think. I don't know what, though. I might be starting to paint differently soon, if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just be the change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double-take. We stare at each other in silence, only that faint, tangy scent of orange floating between us and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth just like the first one. I didn't think it'd be like this. Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed Ren the rest of the orange, one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. The third I eat myself, and the rest are left in the plastic bag, which I put on a small desk next to the couch. She stands up and returns to her painting with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it is completely unreadable. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means. Perfect timing! Perfect timing to end off the episode, right at the end of a scene. Excellent timing. Just fantastic. Well, I'd say that was productive. Oh, I know what's next. I know what's next. Fantastic. Alrighty then. So, that'll just about do it for this episode, so in the next episode, more scenes, more Katawa, more feels. Anime, I don't know. Feels. Anyway. So, I'm reckoning you, the viewer, give a like, favorite, dislike, comment, share, whatever the hell you want to leave. And I'll see you in the next episode, and until next time, do something like, keep on painting or something like that. I don't know. Do what you will.